All right, welcome to episode 43 of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. I am Robert Lentini, and we're going to be going over the November 4th episode of WWE RAW. It was taped over the weekend in Saudi Arabia. So one thing I hate about the Saudi Arabia shows, they got to change the schedule for Raw and SmackDown around it. Wound up being taped. You got to avoid spoilers for a couple days on social media. So if you did that, you got treated to a pretty damn good episode of Raw tonight, I thought. I'm really liking that it's 2 hours. I could get used to this. Show just flies by. The extra hour is not needed. Just keep everything that's important on these shows. I'm loving the 2 hour format. I think they might be going back to 3 hours on Netflix. Originally, I thought it was going to be 2 hours on Netflix. I think that they don't know what it's going to be. But if anybody's listening to me, keep it at 2 hours. It's perfect. But let's go over this episode of Raw. It's kicked off with Liv Morgan, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, and now the Women's Crown Jewel Champion, which she doesn't carry around that enormous belt that's bigger than her whole body. Now she just has that ring akin to MJF's Dynamite Diamond ring. Cody Rhodes is going to be carrying around a ring. Who cares? I do not care about this stupid ring. But anyways, Liv Morgan kicked off the show. She said that her revenge tour was now over, now that she's taken out Rhea Ripley again, and she's now on her world tour. Her world tour is beginning now, whatever that means. But Rhea Ripley, if you don't know, she was ridden off WWE television on last Tuesday's episode of NXT because she has an actual fractured orbital bone. I have no idea how long that's going to keep her out. Her injuries just screwing her over so far. She had to relinquish the Women's World Championship after WrestleMania due to injury. Just sucks. Hopefully she gets back healthy soon. Hate to see her injured again. But yeah, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are taking credit for that. They wrote her off television on NXT. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez had baseball bats leaving the scene. Bloody mess was Ripley on the CW network. That was awesome. But yeah, Liv Morgan just boasting about she's claiming that she's the greatest women's world champion of all time. And then Dominic Mysterio goes to speak. Before he can get a syllable out of his mouth, the crowd boos him to oblivion. He starts yelling at him. And then Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill interrupt. They successfully defended their titles at Crown Jewel in a fatal four-way tag team match. They interrupted, and Liv Morgan's given them problems recently, and they challenged Morgan and Rodriguez to a tag team match. Rodriguez said, "This is more of a celebration night." I love that line. We're celebrating here. It's not the proper time for a match as they're standing in a wrestling ring. But Morgan then tries to play mind games with Cargill and Belair and says, the only reason you guys are friends, the only reason you're still a team is because you have the titles. The second you lose those, you got to stab each other in the back. She noted that Belair thinks she's the EST, the best, the strongest, the greatest in WWE. Well, Jade Cargill thinks the same, and watch out for that knife that she's going to stab in your back. It's just a nice little promo by Liv Morgan. The crowd loves Liv Morgan in Saudi Arabia. They're trying to get her booed all night. They even there was a "You deserve it" chant for Morgan. I think they edited it out. If you look at it on social media, it's all. I mean, the crowd in Saudi Arabia loves Liv Morgan, and I don't blame them. But then they go to have a brawl here, and Raw General Manager Adam Pearce sprints to the ring, as we can't have a brawl between four talents in your women's division. You got to sprint to the ring and put a stop to that immediately. And he said, we're not starting off Raw like this. You think you're not going to be defending your title, Liv Morgan? You'll be defending your title soon, and we're going to determine your next challenger in a battle royal, and that match starts right now, and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, you're in it. So that was we get a battle royal out of nowhere. That was fun. And Katana Chance is randomly in this battle royal. She still has the face guard in it. She did like a Ricochet spot in this match, or a Kofi Kingston spot where she was eliminated, but she did a handstand and walked, and then Io Sky drop kicked her right out of the ring. That was great. Liv Morgan then gets her revenge on Belair and Cargill for interrupting her. Raquel Rodriguez grabs Bianca Belair by her braid and drags her over the top rope, and then Morgan somehow by herself got Jade Cargill over the top rope. I'm not sure how that happened. Just with one arm, Jade Cargill went flying. That was a hell of a sell by Cargill. I don't know how the hell Liv Morgan eliminated Jade Cargill by herself. But the final two are Damage Control's Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria, who was in the finals of the Women's King of the Ring tournament earlier this year, but lost to Nia Jax. Now she's in the final two of this. And she didn't win this match either. Io Sky eliminated Lyra Valkyria with a German suplex on the ring apron. They were fighting on the ring apron for like 8 minutes, it felt like. It was only like a minute, but it was just slow and plodding. And then Io Sky hits this beautiful German suplex out of nowhere, and Lyra falls out. And Io, with her head on the canvas on the ring apron, still screaming like joyous. And, Io Sky was the WWE Women's Champion for a while. She lost it to Bayley at WrestleMania. Now, and then Nia Jax, by winning that Women's King of the Ring tournament, earned a title shot at SummerSlam and defeated Bayley. So, yeah. So, Io Sky, she's a former champion as a single star. She's great. She's phenomenal. I don't know if she's going to be the one to dethrone Liv Morgan, but they could be doing something here where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez wind up going after the women's tag team championships down the line. Why they're feuding with Belair and Cargill if Io Sky is going to be the challenger. Maybe that's a Belair. I'm just waiting for Belair and Cargill to be split up as women's tag team champions. So if Liv Morgan can press the accelerator button on that, I'm all in. Get some new women's tag team champions, for the love of God. But I'm into Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. I don't think Io Sky is going to be the one to defeat Liv Morgan unless someone interferes. I think that's still Rhea Ripley's spot. That's Rhea Ripley's title. She never lost it. She had to relinquish it due to injury. She's injured again. It's a pattern. Hopefully that doesn't continue throughout her career, and this is just a tough patch. But again, nothing you can do about getting knee to the face or whatever the hell happened to her to fracture her orbital bone. That's not on her. The New Day once again continued to tease their inevitable breakup. Xavier Woods somehow in his mind was able to blame Kofi Kingston for their loss last week. Just totally not Kofi Kingston's fault at all. They go on to face the War Raiders tonight, which was an okay match. But again, Kofi Kingston had the match won. He had Eric set up for the Trouble in Paradise, but Xavier Woods, being a selfish asshole, tagged himself in. He wanted Woods to hit the Trouble in Paradise and then for him to hit the Midnight Elbow so he could get the glory, but it didn't work out that way. The War Raiders teamed up on him and then just hit their finisher on Woods and won the match. It was a kind of, there weren't any stakes to this match, but I like what the New Day are just doing here. It's the slowest breakup I've ever seen of a tag team. It's been hinted at for months and months, and I said, unless Big E is coming back to solve all their problems, split them up. Because Xavier Woods has shown to me already that he can be a hell of a heel just on his own, on WWE television, on the main roster as a single star. It doesn't mean he's going to be the world champion, but he could be a hell of a heel Intercontinental champion in a few months. But yeah, just okay match. The War Raiders, their entrance is still badass. I love the War Raiders entrance, but this match was, pretty forgettable. But just the main storyline here is that Woods and Kofi Kingston are still teasing that breakup. Miz has officially been kidnapped by the Wyatt Sicks. I did a short about that. He was going into his tour bus. I mistakenly thought he was searching tour buses for the Wyatt Sicks because Karrion Kross lost his shit on him, because the Miz tried to weasel out of a conflict with the Wyatt Sicks. But then Kross is like, dude, Paul Ellering was locked in the mandible claw for you. You're freaking helping us. And the Miz, I thought he was trying to find the Wyatt Sicks as orders by Karrion Kross. No, he was just going back to his tour bus, but Dexter Lumis was waiting for him. And now we get some clarity on this because, they showed a video of, I looked it up. It was in 2017, July 2017, when The Miz was Intercontinental Champion. One of his 8 title reigns as an Intercontinental Champion was a backstage promo with Curtis Axel, Mr. Perfect's son, and Bo Dallas. And The Miz was just berating them. He was talking about, I'm on set for the Marine 5, and you guys are just losers. And apparently, Bo Dallas, now that he's Uncle Howdy, he has not forgotten about that. He's still holding the grudge, and he kidnapped The Miz. We did this, like a video of this, like just showed up in the New Day backstage promo before their match. So I'm jumping around a little bit, but it showed up. They just cut to the blue screen, the VHS, and The Miz was sitting there with a bag over his head. They reveal it to be The Miz. He's got his duct taped, and The Miz says, hey. Bo Dallas takes the duct tape off, and The Miz says, hey, you guys are all confused. You got the wrong guy. I'm not a part of the Final Testament. I don't know why you got me, but I'm not a part of the Final Testament. I don't like Karrion Kross. And Uncle Howdy laughs in his face and says, "We don't care about the final testament. We want you." So we'll see where this goes. I'm loving this storyline. The Miz just is entertaining. I know some people don't enjoy The Miz. I've always found him entertaining. I think he's a terrible babyface, but as a heel, trying to screw everybody over, weasel out of things, he's fantastic. And I'm interested to see where this goes. Hopefully, again, they have a plan. The Wyatt Sicks just never wrestle, so it's getting a little weird with that. So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully it works out for Uncle Howdy and he becomes a bigger star. But if not, it's just entertaining to me. I'm at least getting a kick out of it. Sami Zayn came to the ring. He got a tremendous reaction from the crowd in Saudi Arabia. Zayn showed up after Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns in the 6-man tag match at Crown Jewel. The Bloodline, the new version of the Bloodline, defeated the original version of the Bloodline. So Sami comes down to the ring after the match, making it seem like he's friends with Solo Sikoa, but he attacks them. But he went to hit Solo Sikoa with the haluva kick and accidentally caught Roman Reigns. So he came to the ring tonight to explain his actions. Before he could really say anything, Jey Uso showed up. He said, "Sami, I was wrong about you. We're family, whatever, but I watched that video back, and I need to know, did you do that on purpose? Tell me the truth." Jimmy Uso showed up and said, "Of course Sami Zayn did it on purpose. We can't trust Sami Zayn. He's not family." Sami Zayn, rightfully so, ran down just the list of every time Jimmy Uso has betrayed everyone around him and noted that Jimmy Uso brought him into the family. Jey Uso hated him initially. Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn were the ones who had the secret handshake. And before Sami and Jey Uso became good friends, the crowd was chanting Sami Uso at this point. Jimmy Uso's getting more pissed off. Sami Zayn said he came to the ring at Crown Jewel for one person and one person only, and that was to help Jey Uso. But for a second there with him, the Usos and Reigns, it felt like old times. It felt like the original Bloodline once again. But that was it. It was just for 1 minute, and then it all went to hell like it always does. And he's out. We wanted nothing to do with it. He's just cutting ties. I got involved at Crown Jewel. I'm out. I won't be a problem anymore. He leaves the ring. Jimmy Uso's happy about it, but Jey Uso isn't. He's pissed. He's looking down, and he just says, "Hey, Sami, wait. I'm asking you. Come to SmackDown. Talk to Roman Reigns. Let's talk this out like family do." And then a loud Sami Uso chant again. Jimmy Uso's getting pissed off, shouting he's not family. And Jey Uso just shouted Sami Uso. He just totally gave into it, and the crowd chanted and went nuts. So there's so much drama here. There's so many directions they can go. But I think it's all leading to the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline War Games match at Survivor Series 4v4. I saw a report that they're not going to do 5v5 at Survivor Series. They're going to do 4v4, probably just for this storyline to make this change so they don't have to add 2 random people. But yeah, this was excellent. I want the honorary Uso back just for a little bit, just to remember, just to bring me back to that time. Bloodline 2022, one of the best times in WWE recent history, one of the best storylines of what has created the WWE, brought them to this height. Yeah, let's revisit that. I'm into it. And Sami Zayn is the honorary Uso, who's one of my favorite characters. Sami Zayn is just always doing what he does. He's just always been an incredible in-ring worker, but his promo work has now reached that level too. He's just an all-around excellent WWE superstar. And I want him back as the honorary Uso. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want that. I'll just quickly go over this match. Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable. Zelina Vega accompanied Dragon Lee to the ring because they're in the Latino World Order. Ivy Nile showed up, attacked Zelina Vega. Rey Mysterio comes to the ring. Chad Gable's obsessed with Rey Mysterio for some reason. He attacked him during the tag team match last week. He goes to rip off Mysterio's mask. Dragon Lee capitalizes and wins the match. American Made are jobbers. Chad Gable's a jobber now. He was fighting Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship last year. Now he's losing to Dragon Lee on Raw. I can't remember the last time the Creed brothers won a match or were on television other than standing in a suit behind Chad Gable. So I don't understand what the vision is for this faction. They dropped the ball with Chad Gable and Otis. They could have had something special there, a little rivalry. Chad Gable at one point I thought could have been considered to beat Gunther. I don't understand what we're doing with Chad Gable. I'm really annoyed. But he signed a new deal, but he's just a jobber all of a sudden. The American Made is not going anywhere with how they're booking them. It's really a bummer. And then there was this weird backstage promo with Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther that was really entertaining because Gunther was asked about Cody Rhodes, his loss to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, and Cody Rhodes defeated him to win the men's Crown Jewel championship, and Kaiser cut him off, said, what the hell does he have to ask about Cody Rhodes? It was a fluke. Cody Rhodes didn't deserve that match, and Gunther then shut Kaiser up and said, actually, you know what? Me and Cody Rhodes might not always see things eye to eye, but he was the better man at Crown Jewel, which was shocking. I was taken aback by that statement. He was just Gunther. Is this a baby face turn tease? I don't know what this was, but he's like, he was the better man. And then he brought up the Fatal 4-Way tonight, and Dominic Mysterio, Sheamus, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, the winner becomes the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Sheamus, great competitor. You were supposed to take care of him, though, right, Ludwig? Kaiser's lost to Sheamus a couple weeks ago, and Kaiser was just despondent. But it's just a weird babyface promo by Gunther. He said, then at the end, he said, I need to be better. I need to be better following that loss to Cody Rhodes. And he looked at Kaiser and said, we both need to be better. So there's just a dissension within Imperium. They've already kicked out Giovanni Vinci, who's just a waste now on SmackDown. They're going to separate Gunther and Kaiser. They should soon, because Kaiser's a star. I thought he should have beat Sheamus a couple weeks ago or last week, whenever that match was. Kaiser's a star. The guy can cut a promo. He has the look. And Gunther just is excellent as champion. But this threw me off. I'm like, is Gunther going to be a babyface soon? He could be. He's pulling it off. The crowd in Saudi loved him. Finally, we get to the main event. Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Dominic Mysterio. The winner faces Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Dominic Mysterio actually controlled this match early, which was hilarious. But Bronson Reed, out of nowhere, shows up. He lost to Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. I hated that decision. I wanted Bronson Reed to win that match. The man needs big wins. If you're going to push him as a big star, he needs a big win. But he shined in this. He beat the hell out of Sheamus. He beat the hell out of Damian Priest. Death Valley drivers to both men in the ring. Then he set Seth Rollins up on the announce table. Tsunami splash through the announce table. Dominic Mysterio is hilariously hiding behind the ring. He hits a frog splash on Sheamus after Bronson Reed leaves through the crowd. You think, holy shit, is Dirty Dom going to be the #1 contender? Nope. Damian Priest broke it up at the last moment, but Dominic hits Priest with the 619. He climbs to the top rope. He's going to hit another frog splash, right? Nope. Damian Priest catches him in midair. Beautiful South of Heaven choke slam for the pinfall victory. And Damian Priest will be facing Gunther once again for the World Heavyweight Championship. He lost the title to Gunther at SummerSlam because of Finn Balor's interference. So Finn Balor might play a part in this again. We might get Finn Balor costing Damian Priest again. Who knows? But Gunther versus Damian Priest, I'm into it, because I thought since Damian Priest lost the title, he's just been kind of floundering. He was in the Terror Twins with Rhea Ripley for a minute for the match at Bash in Berlin. But other than that, he's just been kind of wasting away. So this is a big match for him out of nowhere, and he deserves it. And then he got a huge pop. So I don't think he's going to be winning the title back from Gunther. But if he could have an excellent singles match and this new babyface thing that Gunther's got going on, maybe he extends his hand and they shake hands after the match. Even though he lost, Damian Priest would get the rub off that match. We'll see where it goes. But Damian Priest, I don't envision him winning the title back from Gunther. But I'm fine with seeing them have another match, potentially at Survivor Series or a main event of Raw to bump a rating. We'll see. But that is it for this episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys on the next episode.